if you have a disagreement with someone and you pretend that you don't, all that happens inevitably is that the disagreement deepens and multiplies and extends over a much longer period of time, even forever.
Resentment.
Yes, that's certainly one of its manifestations. Yes, well, resentment and lies, like if we're in a relationship and I have to see you every day and there's something you do that annoys me, well, let's take that apart. So there's something you do habitually that annoys me. Okay, there's two possibilities. One is you're annoying. One is there's something wrong with how I'm looking at it, or some intermingling of those. Now, I could bring that up. Now, you might say, well, how would I bring that up? And I would say something like, when this happens, I find myself irritated. What do you think about that? And now I have to really want to know, because part of me is going to think, well, I'm hoping that it's you that's annoying and not me that's stupid. But I might be stupid. So I'm going to put it out there neutrally. It's like, let's sort this out, because I'd rather not be irritated with you. And so if you can figure out why I'm blind and you're fine, you tell me, and I'll do what I can to sort that out. But if we figure out that you're annoying, then let's see what we can do about that so that I don't have to be annoyed with you every goddamn day for the rest of my life. Right? And that's a war, right? And that's often the sort of war that people don't want to have. And it's certainly the sort of thing they'll turn a blind eye to. But if you have 30 of those things with your wife, you're done. Your marriage is done. So
you're not being honest with one another. And I mean, it's because it's difficult to bring something up to somebody that then they feel like they need to either fix or change, or as you said, if maybe it's the way that you're perceiving it is wrong, then you need to fix and change that.
And you don't know how deep that goes.
Right.
That's the other thing. You see this when couples are trying to communicate, and often. So let's say, just for the sake of argument, let's say that you are doing something habitual that you don't know about that is actually annoying. And it's not just annoying, say, to me, but it's annoying to other people. And you really don't know about it. And so I bring it to your attention, and now we have to delve into it. Now, this could easily be reversed, but we'll use this example. We have no idea how deep down into your structure of assumptions we're going to have to go to find out why that's happening. And often what you'll discover is if you do this with people, you'll go down the rabbit hole, and first to anger, because people will get angry, and then to tears, right? And then that often fixes it. If you can get to tears, the person will have a realization and sometimes a transformation that will go along with that. But people don't like that. They don't like that. And no wonder.
Definitely. And would you say that then it comes back down to both parties being humble in that situation? So if I find out that I'm the one being annoying, I need to humble myself and have an open mind to what you have said and realize that, okay, yeah, I am being annoying. And I know it's embarrassing, but I need to figure it out.
Well, yes. Well, and also you do that with a certain kind of clear-headed realization. Like, this is the thing that's... So you're bound in a marriage, let's say. Now, the binding is you don't get to run away. Like, seriously. Well, so then you have a dilemma, which is, well, you're either going to confront this or you're going to live with it for the rest of your life. Now, that's not wise, because if there's something your wife is doing that you don't like, if enough of those things accumulate, you won't like her. Well, then that's terrible for her. And one of the things a wife might think if a husband is expressing his annoyance is, she might want to get to the bottom of that too, because maybe he needs some tooling, and that's certainly possible, but maybe she needs some adjustment too, because the alternative for her is to live with someone who pretends to like her. Yeah, well, if you want a hell, that's a good one. Oh, seriously. Yeah. It's like having a child who's very badly behaved, and you take that child out in public and everybody smiles falsely around them and pretends they enjoy the child's company when inside they're seething.
I'll call that out.
Well,
I tell that there all the time. Control your kids, bro.
Yeah.
Control your kids. It's annoying.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain utility in calling that out, but the problem for the child in that situation especially if people say won't call it out, is that the child lives in a world of false smiles.
Right, he's
And
being lied to.
your marriage can easily be a world of false smiles. And that's brutal, brutal. Then you can't even complain because, well, everyone's smiling after all. Like, what's the problem? The problem is hatred in the guise of love. That's the problem. And that iciness that's underneath that, it's awful. People will lock themselves in like a homicidal embrace for decades because of that. It's brutal. Better to have the scrap.
I have to ask you this because in my relationship here with this incredibly beautiful girl, inside and out, extremely blessed to have you. And I'll publicly say it all the time.
What does she think about you?
He's a prince. That's what I think about him.
I appreciate that. But I had to humble myself to be the correct man. And so
How's that going?
incredible when you realize that I ain't shit without God. You know what I mean? And so when you realize that I treat this relationship truly as if God gaveth me, but also can taketh away. So if I do not honor the gift that he's given me, which in the scripture it says a good woman is one of the best gifts from God, then obviously he will remove me and give her to a man that's more deserving. And how I had to come to that conclusion is that I'm not right and I'm not always in the right path. And so that's scary when you love somebody and then you realize that you're bringing them along to hell if you're going the wrong direction. That could get, daunting. And my question is, our relationship found a very beautiful path when I said, hey, I'm going to lead this house, but also God's going to control it. So if I'm in the wrong direction and she prays about it, God will open up my eyes and ears and then I'll try to fix it, vice versa. But we have this counseling that we come to the Lord with. How did you manage to have a beautiful, successful relationship without a counsel from God if your wife didn't believe in God while you did? How was that not?
I don't think that wasn't the situation. I mean, first of all, people believe in God to a greater or lesser degree in some ways, regardless of what they say or think. So even people who are atheistic, it's a surface presumption mostly.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean partly that we're opaque to ourselves. And so you can say you're an atheist, but that doesn't mean you are one. So that just like saying you're a woman doesn't make you a woman if you're a man, just like that. So, my wife, I wouldn't say my wife ever was atheistic in her orientation. She certainly agreed when we decided to get married that she was going to tell me the truth. And that's a form of faith, a deep form of faith, at minimum a form of faith in the truth. And that's a good start.